Hey guys, Tom here. Welcome back to the Grantham Pub Underground. This is a fun episode I have here for you today because we're going back in time to some classic Cream. No, I'm not going to play a bunch of Eric Clapton records, although that would be cool. But I was thinking about different things and I thought about a couple drinks, and this is my memory of this drink. I think drinks can have memories. This is my memory of these drinks. Back in the day, my mom, who does not drink, well, I say did not drink. She's unfortunately has left us. But whenever she had dinner parties, she would always say, "You have to make these drinks for me." And they were really two cool, creamy drinks. And she always made them. I mean, classically you make them with cream, but she always wanted them made with ice cream. And as I didn't want to give it away, so I covered up ye old jest sign. So harkening back to the days of my mother's dinner parties, we're going to make two cool drinks, a Brandy Alexander and a Grasshopper. Now, the other cool thing about these drinks is they both have like kind of a fun history. As with a lot of things, the history of something is up for debate. One of these has several histories. One of these, I think it's just one and that's it. I'm going to start with the Brandy Alexander. I have a couple of notes, but if I need them, I'll tell them to you. The Brandy Alexander is a riff on a drink just called an Alexander, which is made with gin. And how that drink started was a couple of different variations of the story. One is that it was named after the Russian Tsar Alexander II. One story is that it was named for a queen or some relative of a queen. Here we go. It was made for the first time at the wedding of Henry George Charles Lascelles, who was the 6th Earl of Harewood, and Princess Victoria Alexandra Alice Mary, daughter of King George V and Queen Mary. So there's that story. Another little side bit, if you're speaking of classic music and Cream, if you're a Beatles fan, the Brandy Alexander was happened to be John Lennon's favorite drink. But the story that makes the most sense to me is that it was named after the guy who made it, and that was a guy named Troy Alexander, who worked at a restaurant, he worked at a restaurant called Rector's in New York City that was around from around the turn of the century, 1899, to about 1919. And so why did they make this drink called the Alexander? And there's another story where it said it was named after the pitcher Grover Cleveland Alexander. But the story that makes the most sense to me, and the one that I believe to be true, is back in the day, trains ran by coal. And what would happen is you would take a train ride and then you would be covered with soot. So when they switched over from just regular coal to anthracite, that burned a lot cleaner, so people would not be as dirty after a train ride. And what they had done, they came up with a marketing campaign, and they had this person called Phoebe Snow. Classic music? No, not that Phoebe Snow. This was just, and she would be on this train, she would be dressed in all white. This back in the days when they wore minks and furs, she would be in these pristine white furs, and everything would be clean. So he came up with this drink that was like pure white, to show that you could ride these trains and wear white and everything would be pure and clean. I think that's the story. So how did it become a brandy? Basically, this this Troy guy is the guy that came up with it. How it basically, he just came up with it as a riff on the gin-based Alexander, but there's other Alexanders. There's vodka Alexanders, bourbon Alexanders, and so forth. So, but the Brandy Alexander is what I think is the most famous and normal drink that we think of when we think of an Alexander. So enough talking about that. Let's make one. It starts with brandy. You can use any kind of brandy you want. You can use cognac, you can use brandy, you can use, anything you got. So let's do about 2 ounces of brandy. And then another cool thing about these drinks is this stuff. I think like things like this, like these old, whether it's Jacquins or Bowls or what's some other ones, LaRue. These, like the cream de cocos and the cream de mints and the blue curacao and the triple sec, they're like, that's stuff you need in your kit. And we'll talk about this a little more when we get into the Grasshopper, but like these are just old-fashioned drinks, like Jacquins, established 1884. This was before this was when I was tending bar, before the days of the fancy chocolate, Godiva liqueur and all that kind of stuff. We didn't have all that stuff. We had cream de cacao. So you want dark. If you don't have dark and you only have light, use light, but it calls for dark. So let's put some of that in. And then, what would a classic creamy drink be without some cream? So another ounce of that, and it's I don't know. I don't know what it is about these drinks. They're just cool. That's all I can say. They're cool. Now this one, you definitely want to give a good GPU shake because you got cream in here and ice, and you want to get it nice and cold, nice and frothy. So let's have at it. And if you want to play some classic cream while you're shaking, go ahead. Favorite cream song? Did you come up with one? Your favorite cream song? I think mine would be, oh God, I can't think of the name of it. But I like seeing the video and watching Ginger Baker. Ginger Baker was a wild dude. And another thing that I think is cool and retro about these drinks is that right there. The classic coupe glass. So you can fluff that up any way you want, but dude, come on, look at that. And of course, you know me, I got to dump it all over the place. So let's do a little housekeeping. I am going to put a little bit of something on there with this. My favorite, your favorite. This is a nutmeg. Buy one, it'll last a long time. You don't need a lot, just a little something on there. So it makes it look like you're Mr. Fancy Pants. And that, friends, is our first classic cocktail of back in the day. I think of these drinks, I think of 70s and 80s. The Brandy Alexander. Okay, next. And this is the fun one because this has a cool story. The Grasshopper, another favorite of my mother. There's only one story about this. There was a bar in New Orleans called Two Jacks. I don't know if I think it's still there. I would assume it's still there. TUJA, is that a GUE, Two Jacks. And that's been around since 1856. And what happened was in, let's see, when did this happen? Around the turn of the century, a little after, there was a family called the Guichet, Guichet. They bought Two Jacks from Mr. and Mrs. Two Jack. And the Guichets had a son, I believe it was their son, his name was Philibert. And around 1918, 1919, there was a big cocktail competition in New York. And he invented this drink called the Grasshopper. And it won second place. So he took it back to New Orleans, Two Jacks, put it on the menu, and it exploded their menu. And people would come in. It's kind of, excuse me, it's kind of like a thing. You go to New Orleans, you got to go to Two Jacks, get a Grasshopper. And why do, like these drinks, Brandy Alexander, Grasshopper, why do people get them when they go out? It's because in most people's home bar, a lot of people, they don't have crème de menthe. They don't have like the crème de cocos and like all that stuff I mentioned a couple minutes ago, like good kit basics that if you want to have a well-stocked home bar, I think you need at least a few of these to be able to make some different things. And Philibert's original recipe was, oh wait, there's some more to this. The Grasshopper became very popular in the 1950s as an after-dinner drink. And so the drink contest was in 1928. I think they bought the bar in 1919 or something like that. That's when stuff gets a little hazy, because even in my research, they said like Two Jacks, they didn't really keep good records, so nobody really knows for sure. But people would go in, like the older people who like this as a nice after dinner drink, the younger people who go to Two Jacks, get a Grasshopper. Would be real fun. So the original recipe that Philibert came up with was equal parts green crème de menthe, because we all know there's a green crème de menthe and a white crème de menthe. White crème de cocoa, and we all know there's a dark and a white of those, and cream, equal parts. But Two Jacks on their menu, they tweak it a little bit, and I'm going to do a riff on their recipe, because that is the fun recipe in that I think we should make. So it starts with crème de menthe, and we need, I'm just cleaning out my thing from the last drink, 1.5 ounces of green crème de menthe. And it's really just probably white crème de menthe with coloring in it. And then the thing that's cool about their riff on it is they use both light and dark crème de cocoa. Cacao, do you say cocoa or cacao? I think it's cacao, but I say cocoa. How about 1.5 ounces of white? I'm making a mess all over the place. A 3/4 ounce of dark. And they actually put in a little splash of brandy in theirs. I'm going to do that as well. And then 1 ounce of cream. More or less, if you want, I'm going to put a little bit of a healthy cream in there. I am going to put this, where can I put this where it won't make a big mess? Just let me do a little housekeeping real quick. And then just like the other one, you need a good shake, because cream, ice, or you could be like my mom. Whoa, I just broke a coaster. Or you could be like my mom and blend it up with some ice cream. So let's give this a good GPU. Maybe play some Phoebe Snow. And a salute to Brandy Alexander. Love mellow out with a little Phoebe Snow. Here we go. And give it a good shake, because it's a creamy drink. So if you shake it enough, you'll work off enough calories equal to that comes in this sweet, creamy drink. Now, at Two Jacks, they serve it in a champagne flute. Here, in the retro GPU bar of the evening, we're going to put it in another coupe glass, because that's what you do with a Grasshopper. Now, I only used half and half. If you wanted it extra creamy, by all means use heavy cream. If you wanted it super creamy, by all means blend it up with some ice cream. And then for this one, to give it a little something, the little something something on this one is some chocolate. If you wanted to go really nutso on this, you could put some chocolate in the glass first, rim the glass with chocolate. Any of that would be good. Boy, did that make a holy mess. And then put the thing in. I think we did that before on a drink where I chocolified the glass with some chocolate syrup. But that's that one. The ever classic Two Jacks, the GPU riff on the original Two Jacks version of the Grasshopper. Two awesome, awesome retro drinks. I'm very excited about this episode. So, what are we going to do with these drinks? Nothing yet, because I just want to remind you how awesome and fun this was. And if you want to make sure you get all this awesomeness all the time, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Grantham Pub Underground. We got all kinds of fun like this. You don't want to miss it, because we have a great time. And make sure you ring the bell, so when cool classic drinks or anything else comes up, they'll let you know about it. You can come on over, check us out, have a seat at the bar, and we'll have some fun. So, that being said, ready? Drink. Oh, the Brandy Alexander. My mouth is watering. I don't know. I feel like I'm drooling. Cheers. Cheers to my mom, who liked these drinks, even though she didn't drink. Wow, that, you know what? That's just good. It's rich, it's creamy, it's chocolatey, it's a little smoky from the brandy, or if that's the flavor that brandy gives you. It's just, I mean, I could have just hammered that down, but I won't. So let's have at this one. Cheers. All right, here's the thing about this. And Lisa, you guys know who Lisa, was very excited about this because her favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip. And a Grasshopper is basically mint chocolate chip ice cream, alcoholized in a glass. Really, I mean, it's minty, it's creamy, it's chocolatey. It's just awesome. It's awesomeness in a glass. That's it, guys. Two classic. I love classic drinks. I really do. Do you like? Tell me, what other classic drinks do you guys want to talk about? I'm all for it. If I don't have the stuff, I'll go get the stuff. I have a couple in mind. I don't know if I've made them before, but and then of course I think we've made it before. The other classic creamy drink is, you know, White Russian, but no dudes here. So, but tell me if there's a classic drink you want to talk about and make, we will, because I love that kind of stuff. Looking up the history, that I really enjoy. I would have been happy to sit down and read this to you. But no, I didn't do that. So I'm out of here, guys. I'm going to drink these drinks and enjoy the rest of the night. So thanks for coming. I had a great time with you. I'm glad you stopped by. So make sure you subscribe. Tell all your friends. Like this video. I really appreciate if you like this video. Give it the old. I could never do that. I could never be like a street guy because I go. I could call horses because can you call horses? You go. That's like a horse thing. Some sound effects have normal things I can do. But why am I talking about that? Because I'm very excited about these drinks. So come back again and again. If you want, leave us a tip. You don't have to, but every little bit helps, you know. But just come back. Have a good time with us. We have fun. I hope you have fun. Make these drinks. Go, if you're a younger person that's old enough to drink, make these drinks. They're cool. This is what they drank back in the day, the 70s, the 80s, the 50s. These were cool drinks. And they're still cool drinks. Let's resurrect. Let's hashtag resurrect the cool drink. I just invented a hashtag. So that's it from me. I'm out of here. Go to enjoy the rest of the evening. So until I see you right back here at Grantham Pub Underground, I'll save a seat at the bar for you. Cheers.